Hey everyone, this is Ken, and today we're going to be doing a tutorial on an armor stand selector. Now what's great about this design is the simple fact that you could literally put up to 12 different armor stands at once, which is amazing. Now guys, before I even get to the details, I'm going to show you how this works, and this bad boy works amazingly. Now you're probably wondering what those redstone lamps are there for, but I'm going to show you how they correlate with the system. Now, once you hit that button, you're going to notice the armor stands are going to pop up immediately, and the lights on top are going to turn on. Now, the second you hit the button again, they actually close, and the lights turn off just as quick. Now, the cool thing is, the redstone lamps are actually optional. You really don't need it, but I thought it really adds a really fun, cool feature to it to really enhance the whole experience of it. And guys, you actually make this a lot larger. But we'll get into that later, and I'll show you some little tricks to really expand this even further. Now the redstone behind this, guys, is super simple. It really doesn't take that much. There's some pretty basic mechanics behind it, which is fantastic. And even on the side profile, you can tell that it really just goes back about 3 blocks, because we really got this whole system pretty much flush. And what we're using on the bottom is to really activate the system is a silent T flip-flop, which I'll show you 2 different ways to really set that up. Now, in all honesty, guys, right there to activate these trapdoors, we're going to use repeaters and redstone torches, which is pretty much the bulk of the entire design. Besides that, guys, this system is extremely compact and very easy to make. So these are the basic materials you're going to need. You will be needing a block of your choice, some half slabs, slime blocks, sticky pistons, some droppers, hoppers. You will need a stone button for this design, trust me. If not, you will need a wooden button, and that would require another repeater. Redstone dust, redstone storage, repeaters, comparators, redstone lamps, which are completely optional. You will need trapdoors, and of course your armor stand. Fantastic, guys. Now at this point, guys, make sure you pause the video and have this setup laid out, especially before you even start this build. You want to pause it and just take your time on this. Fantastic. Now the wood part is going to be the front of the build, alright? Just so you guys don't really get too confused, what's the back and what's the front. You're going to go about 2 blocks down, and on the 3rd block you're going to add 2 half slabs like so. Now these are going to represent the armor stands. Now I'm going to show you the maximum size to this, and you're going to extend that 12 blocks wide. And you're going to do that twice, just like so. Now you're going to place a block right there, and of course you're going to repeat that same exact pattern. Now once you've done that, I want you to place a repeater going towards each block. Add some redstone dust right behind it. Fantastic, guys. Now at this point, you're going to place 2 more half slabs and some redstone dust right on top of it. Then you're going to place a half slab right there and there. Delete the first one and place a block right there. And you're going to place 1 repeater going forward. But we'll get into that later. Then right there, you're going to place 12 redstone torches right across. Okay? Fantastic. So you should have this kind of layout at this point. Now you're going to get your block of choice to be the ground, and we're going to cover this whole section up. So place some blocks there and place some blocks right on top, because you want to cover those repeaters and redstone dust. Now guys, this is very important. You want to place some blocks of your choice, so once again it's going to be ground level, right there and on top of each redstone torch. And the reason for that is because we're going to get our trapdoors, and you're going to place it right in front of that block, in front of each one that has the redstone torch. Fantastic. Now just to show you how this works, the second you delete that redstone torch, it opens and closes, you see? Which is what we want. Now parallel to that first trapdoor, straight down, right there, see? You're going to place 1 sticky piston. Then you're going to place your slime block and 12 more slime blocks right across. Well, it should be a total of 12. Now guys, this is very important. Make sure you delete those blocks right there too high and put an unmovable block, like a furnace, or whatever block that's pretty much unmovable. Now it's highly suggested to also place furnaces around the slime blocks as well, which is completely optional. Now you're going to place some blocks like so in this pattern and delete the one at the bottom and place a block there and one on top. Then you're going to place a repeater going towards that block and make sure it's on 4 ticks. Place a repeater there and also on 4 ticks as well. Then place some redstone dust on top of that block, a block right on top of it. Then you're going to place a half slab right there parallel to that one. Then you're going to place one repeater going forward towards that block and make sure it's on 4 ticks. Then you're going to place a block right behind that repeater and delete that one. Then place one piece of redstone dust right there. And check this out, you're going to place your redstone torch right there on the side. And see? And it activates all the trapdoors, which is perfect. So you're pretty much activating 2 systems at the same time, the trapdoors and the slime blocks. And trust me, you have to have this timing to really set this up. Now this is all based on the timing of the stone button, guys, okay? Otherwise, the repeater towards the button, well, the piston down there, has to be on an extra 4 more ticks. Now you're going to put this piston right there and add 12 right across. Then you got to add some pistons right on top of it. And that's going to be the extension part of the wall. Now you're going to get your block of choice. Well, then you're going to place your block right on top of it first. Rip some redstone dust right across. Yeah, I apologize guys for the back noise. It's New York, guys. It's always something. Now, once again, guys, let's get back to it. We're going to place some blocks right there. That's going to be the wall itself. And, of course, you're going to place some blocks right there on the side because you want to make a nice framework for your, what I like to call the hidden closet. So we're going to place 3 blocks right there and make this nice little framework. As you can see. Fantastic. Now, like I was saying earlier, guys, we're going to make 2 different versions of a silent T flip-flop. Now, you got to make sure these systems work for your particular system, either on the console or on the PC, because I normally get mixed complaints as far as how this works. So you're going to place a dropper there, a dropper going upwards, and a dropper going the opposite direction, see? With a hopper facing downwards. Now you're going to place one item, well first you're going to place a redstone dust in a straight line going towards that bottom dropper. Now in that dropper you're going to place one item, it has to be any item. Dirt, anything. And a comparator going outwards, guys. Now bear in mind guys, this whole system is based on the fact that this button is a stone button, for the simple fact that the delay is a lot shorter than the wooden button. So place your stone button right in the middle. And once you activate it, that's going to turn on, that comparator. And once you turn it off, do the button again, it's going to turn off, right? That's what we call a T flip-flop. It's what you add a quick pulse to one item so that it can stay on and stay off instead of using a lever. Now, let me show you a different way to really create that. Now, this is a second version of a silent T flip-flop. You're going to place one dropper there like so, facing forward, one right there facing sideways, and one right there facing the opposite direction, facing outwards. Then make sure you place a hopper going towards that dropper. Fantastic. Alright. So you pretty much get the gist of this. Then you place one comparator right there at the edge. Now that's the one we're going to use for this tutorial. But you have 2 different options in case one doesn't work. Now you're going to place one item in that dropper parallel to the redstone dust. And once you activate the button, you should get this kind of effect, guys. And if you don't, that means that the system is not going to work for you. So you have two different options to really set that up, because I know they both kind of work differently depending on how you're playing it. I know it sounds weird, guys, but I like to give you guys the multiple options in case one fails. You're going to delete that extra, I guess, half slabs if you want to. And you're going to place a block right in front of that comparator. Let's delete those two. Then place a redstone torch right on top of it with a block on top of that redstone torch. Now, you're going to place a half slab right there on the bottom and connect that to that block. And right over here, you're going to place one more half slab going towards that wall. Then you can place some redstone dust right there until you get to the block, and that should stay on. Then you're going to place a repeater going towards that block. Now, you're going to notice right away that the pistons are going to extend, which is perfect. Now, this is very important, guys. Make sure that repeater is on 4 ticks. Fantastic. And we're almost done, guys. Now, if you guys want to add the light indication system, which is completely optional, you're going to add some redstone lamps right across on top and some redstone dust on top of each lamp. Now you're going to add a redstone torch right there on top of that block. Just delete that right there. And let's connect the redstone dust to that torch. And there you have it, guys. Now at this point, guys, I want you to decorate it and really hook it up to your likings. Now let's test it out before we even do that. Now you're going to press a button, and I want you to place an armor stand pretty much anywhere. Now I like to place it right in the middle to make sure everything's kind of working pretty evenly. And we're going to hit that button, it's going to go right down and close. And once we hit the button, it should pop right back up to its original spot with the lights on. Look at that, it's perfect. That's exactly what we want. Now, like I said earlier, guys, make sure you decorate this to your likings. Really hook it up and make it your own personal style. Now, when the time lapses a little bit, I'm going to pretty much speed it up just slightly. I'm going to show you what I created, hopefully to really help you guys out and give you some ideas. But once you're done, you should have something that you want and how you want it. Now, once you hit that button, your armor stands are going to pop out, and you're going to have something just as smooth like this, guys. Instantly, no lag. It's going to work the second you hit that button, and you can have your choice of picking. Now, this, guys, is a completely different design, but you could really make this an entire room. Now, I'm going to show you exactly how I really wrap this around, but it's the same exact concept, guys. As you can see, I really hooked it up, added some water flow on top with some redstone lamps. Now, the second you hit that button, guys, every wall is going to pop out with an armor stand, which is awesome. I thought it was pretty cool, and I thought it was pretty awesome. Now, bear in mind, guys, on the console edition, we do have a limited amount of armor stands that we could put on our world. Well, in our world. I believe it's somewhere between 13 and 15 armor stands, but roughly that amount. Now, I'm going to show you how I did this. It's really not that complicated, and it's very simple to really wrap this around any kind of room. Now, let's go back outside. I'm going to show you all the redstone and pretty much explain it so you guys could really do the same thing. Now, like we did previously, the same concept is still done on the first wall. Nothing has changed as far as how we designed this. Now, once we go to the second wall, we do have to add a repeater. Now, make sure all the repeaters are on 1 tick, because they all have to shoot off at the same exact time. You see what I mean? And once you go to the second wall, well, the third wall in this case, once again, guys, make sure you have your repeaters all in the perfect sequence. Otherwise, one will shoot off earlier than the other. Now, we're going to change it up just slightly in the bottom part of this if you really want to wrap this around. Now, we do use 2 repeaters on the bottom here, but this stays the same right on top. But the only difference is that we do have 2 repeaters going in a straight line on 4 ticks, okay? Each one's on 4 ticks, and there's a block right there parallel to that piston. And the piston's actually extended a little to the side by 1 block to accommodate that. Now all I did was added those on 4 ticks, which is the same exact format, and make sure that that block was activated at the same time. You're going to add 1 repeater right there. Once again, those repeaters on top are on 1 tick, all in sequence, and the same down here. You see? 1 repeater and the 1 repeaters up there, all in perfect sequence. You see what I mean? You want to have that set up, guys, because you want all this to shoot off and fire all at the same time. Now, for the trapdoors, it's slightly different, but the same exact concept. You see? The repeaters here are all in the same format. See, that hasn't changed at all. But the redstone dust kind of extends outwards here and goes into that repeater, which is the 1 tick I'm talking about, that goes to the second wall. You see? All in perfect sequence. Same exact thing here, which is the 3rd wall, which is another tick that activates that, which once again, all these repeaters are in sequence. See? So it's pretty much 1 tick per wall. Just to show you guys, once you hit it, you're going to notice the delay in each wall, which is really not that much, but you can see that they're all working bang, 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 you see, in perfect sequence. So when you do make your own personal wall, your own personal room like this, you want to have this set up that way. Now bear in mind, guys, you can really make this up to 12 blocks on each wall. Anyway, guys, I want to thank everybody for watching. If you could please leave a comment and subscribe. Thank you.